wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. What up, Tiz?
What's going on, DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the God. Happy Monday.
Good morning.
Peace, Ted.
Let's jump right into it. Let's talk about Fani Willis.
Yes, well, we have been waiting on this, or at least I've been waiting. I know a lot of other folks have been waiting to see what was going to happen in her hearing. So Judge Scott McAfee ruled that Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis could continue prosecuting the election interference case against former President Donald Trump and his co-defendants, but the judge gave an ultimatum. Take a listen.
Fulton County Judge Scott McAfee gave District Attorney Fani Willis an ultimatum Friday: step aside from the 2020 election subversion case involving former President Trump, or have her former romantic partner, Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade, withdraw. Within hours, Wade tendered his resignation, effective immediately, to move this case forward. The district attorney praised Wade as an outstanding advocate. The former president called him a disgrace. There was no evidence, according to McAfee, that Willis financially benefited from her roughly year-long relationship with Wade, which included trips to the Caribbean and California. But the ruling did note a significant appearance of impropriety. McAfee was sharply critical of Willis's behavior, citing a lapse in judgment and calling her conduct during a hearing last month unprofessional.
So now the judge may also issue a gag order based upon the comments that she made at the church at the MLK service. That was a big part of the hearing, saying that she was basically, calling Donald Trump, saying that this was all about race. That's also another thing that may come up as well. Donald Trump could possibly sue her for defamation. This is far from over, guys. So she has been, given the green light. Obviously, Mr. Wade has resigned. We knew it would be him. Obviously, would not be her. But there's still a lot more that could happen with this. Congress is also asking her, the House Judiciary Committee, they've started an investigation. So we can probably look to expect questioning with that. And just so much more. So many of the organizations that she's affiliated with, that she has to be held accountable to, like the bar, could possibly, question her as well. So this is far from over.
Yeah, with all that you just said, Taz, I wonder if it's smart for her to even stay on this case, because she will continue to be a distraction and she will continue to be a target. And as far as headlines is concerned, you want the headline to constantly be that Donald Trump is on trial for attempting to, overturn the results of an election. As long as Fani's on this case, that seems like that's always going to be a B story, sadly.
It's absolutely going to be a B story. Even this weekend, Donald Trump was posting memes, and we've seen this meme before with the when he was asked the question of, has he ever been with her alone? And then she pops up and you listen to the Marvin Gaye song. And then, because he has a big long pause before he says no. So that's a popular meme that went around. But when you have the former, president of the United States and somebody that she's accusing of election interference, posting that type of content, he's absolutely going to post it. He's definitely going to say that this was a witch hunt. He's going to believe that because of this, and in addition to all the other stuff, they're dealing with in Georgia with the throwing out the other charges that he's had. So yeah, Charlamagne, it is going to be a distraction. We just have to be honest about this. I think the best thing is to allow somebody else, if nothing else, to be the face of this case. Yeah. I know a lot of folks don't like that. They'll say, oh no, don't do that. She shouldn't have to step aside. Trump would have to step aside. But at some point we have to look at what's more important, ego or the case.
That's right. Because when Trump puts those memes out, he keeps doing stuff like that. That keeps the Fani story, the A side, and keeps Trump attempting to overturn the results of an election, the B side. So I wonder if it's even smart for her to stay on this case.
Yeah, I would much rather get off myself than be put out. But so. We'll see how it goes. But I'm not sure if this case is going to move forward in August as they expected. So we'll just see. This is one of the strongest cases that they had against Donald Trump. So this whole thing, having to pause for 3 months or however long this has been just to talk about this has been a huge distraction. So,
all right. Malada's front page news. What are we talking next hour?
Well, Senator Bernie Sanders is pushing for a 32-hour work week. Want to see if you guys are on board with that, with the same pay, with just 32 hours. And then, we talk a lot about blue-collar jobs. There is a shortage of plumbers. And so speaking of workers, I want to let you know about that as well. Give you some data behind what we talk about all the time on the Breakfast Club. We'll talk about that at the 7 o'clock hour.
All right. Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, Phone lines are wide open. Let us know how your weekend was, what you did, all that good stuff. 800-585-1051 is the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. All right. Now, what up, Tiz?
What's going on, DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy, Jess Hilarious, the Queen.
Good morning.
Peace, Ted.
Now, Odell Beckham, we're going to start off with some quick sports. Odell Beckham Jr. looks like he's saying goodbye to Baltimore. They didn't re-sign him with the Ravens. What team? What's a good fit for him, Charlamagne? What do you think?
Anybody
I
retire?
have no idea. Odell is older now.
And
He's been in the
all
league 10
time.
years. But he still did, like 500 yards last year, 600 yards last year?
Nice.
Yeah, they say he said he wants to go to the Chiefs.
The Chiefs?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's jump right into it. Let's talk Bernie Sanders.
Senator Bernie Sanders is pushing for a 32-hour work week with the same pay as 40 hours. Now, we've heard about this many, many times, but Bernard is still pushing and fighting a good fight. Take a listen.
Many full-time workers, the amount of time they work in a week could look a little different. A new proposed bill introduced by Senator Bernie Sanders would establish a 4-day work week in the U.S. with no reduction in pay. The bill would lower the threshold required for overtime pay from 40 hours to 32 hours as a way to create a better work-life balance and productivity. But some say this might create difficulty for employers to implement it across their workforce and have potential negative impacts on business operations.
Businesses are struggling right now with workforce issues, so there aren't enough employees. So having a reduction in hours of employees, I think, would really create a burden on businesses and organizations and getting their work done and doing the things required, to be successful with what they're doing.
I love it. I think it's great. I mean, who the hell is going to complain about getting an extra day off and you get the same pay? Like, who the hell wouldn't be for that?
And
Well, plenty of people are complaining. Go ahead, DJ.
I said, so are you working the same amount of hours, like extra days on Monday, I guess, the other days, or is it
No,
less
it's
hours?
32-hour work week.
So less
Yeah, 32
hours?
hours.
People ain't going to go with that. Because there's going to be a lot of businesses
When you
that
say
can't
people,
open.
you mean the businesses.
Yeah, businesses, there's gonna be a lot of businesses.
The employees and
Yeah.
the people that's working absolutely want that. The
But it's gonna-
businesses may not go for it.
There's going to be a lot of businesses that can't open on certain days. There's going to be a lot of businesses that have to shut down early. And I think it's going to affect people. It's going to affect people, too. Like when people need to go to grocery stores or shopping or whatever stores they go to, a lot of their stores are going to be closed because there's going to be nobody working there.
So what Charlamagne is saying is the people who are working are going to be with it. And Envy is saying, well, the people who want to pull up on that Friday or that Sunday, kind of like how we already have to do without Chick-fil-A on Sundays.
Right.
People are going to be like, no, I want my business to be open. But let me give you some other points, because there might be some employees who say, no, I don't like this, because they're going to have fear that their jobs may be sent overseas. So let me give you just a couple of pros and cons to it. So Republican Senator Bill Cassidy in Louisiana said the 32 work week will destroy some employers, and employers will have to ship those jobs overseas. They'll also automate those jobs. We already have to deal with AI coming in and taking folks' jobs. They said this is a way that this can actually make it happen even faster because of the increased expense, and it would dramatically increase prices to stay afloat. Meaning, so if a business, to Envy's point, if a business has to reduce hours, then they may have to up the charge on other things to make that difference. Now, some folks are saying this would never work, but you can look at Spice, Iceland, and South Africa. They are some nations who have implemented this trial 4-day work week for select companies. They also, here in America, Massachusetts has introduced a bill last year that will provide employers with a tax credit if they shift to at least 15 workers to 4 days a week. So there's a way of, getting around it there. And then in California, lawmakers have introduced the standard work week at 32 hours. So if that bill goes through, we'll get a chance to see how it looks in real time. So what do you guys think?
It could be both. Dubai and Abu Dhabi have 4-day work weeks as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think France too, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
Now they got a
I know,
4-day
like
work.
Italy and I know France, they shut down for the month of August. So like the month of August, they shut down. Like nobody goes to work. It's they totally shut down. So if you ever try to order something, like if you try to order furniture or whatever it may be, they'll tell you have to do it before a certain time because they shut down. It's called summer shutdowns, where they say the quality of life is better. I don't know if that's true or not, but I wouldn't be mad at things like that as well.
And also, is everybody gonna have the exact same day off? Like, is it gonna be everybody off on Friday, or do they stagger it out?
They would have to
the week?
stagger it out.
Yeah, if you stagger it out throughout the week, that would ensure that the businesses won't ever close.
Mm-hmm.
I think I like the consensus is Charlamagne saying he not mad at it. Envy saying, wait, hold on, let's slow down and kind of see, what it's going to look like.
And also we were saying things like, businesses would have to close. No, they wouldn't, because people have days off now and the businesses don't close. So what are we talking about?
So what are you talking about then, Envy, when you say that? Because Envy
you
said
have an extra day off. So usually you have Saturday, you have 2 days off, but some businesses only have 1 worker, 2 workers in it, and those businesses, what do they do?
But they stay open though, is what I'm saying. Like they're open. Most businesses are open 7 days a week.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like. And they said this may not pass, but it's all about the things that you fight for. It may not actually happen, but you have to continue to keep putting it on the floor, continue to have the debate. Sounds like we got. Go ahead.
I like it. I think you get more out of your employees. You know what I mean? When you give your employees days off, the reset mentally, the reset physically, the reset emotionally. I think you'll get more out of your employees that way.
You absolutely, you're right on that. And the data shows that, Charlamagne, for sure. But, there's just still the conversation. If you reset and then AI take over your job, you're going to be resetting without a job too. So I think there's some balance. I think it depends on the industry, depends on the job, depends on, I do like the idea of giving employers tax credit for those that can afford to do it, kind of giving them the choice. Rather than mandatory. So, we'll just see. I'm with it. So
I just think it's difficult because if that means the hourly and wage will go up, right? Because that means you're not working 40 hours a week, you're working 32 hours a week, you're making the same payment. So instead of making $20 an hour, you're really making like $28 an hour. And I don't know if businesses can actually survive with not having workers working at that time.
Right. That's what they're saying. That's why they're saying they're going to have to make their money up somewhere. So they might ship some of those jobs overseas, or the price. If it's a retail store, they might up the price, because you're right. They still have to pay. This makes them still pay for 40 hours a week. So you're right.
Yeah. And working more is not going to keep AI from taking your job. Okay. When AI is ready to take jobs, they're going to fire y'all because it's cheaper to have AI. So don't think just because you work more, it's going to keep AI from taking your job.
Well, that's our positive note then for the day with us. Charlamagne. I do want to tell you this quickly, though, speaking of workers, so we got a little bit of time. We talk about it all the time. Folks call in, about plumbers and carpentry. And I just want to let you know there is a report that says that licensed trade people who install and fix bathroom fixtures, the lack of those folks have drained the economy $33 billion since 2022. Now, this report says that the U.S. will be short 550,000 plumbers by 2027. They said that the plumber shortages drive up costs for families. It hurts businesses as well because you can't expand new businesses. It also creates delay in floods. It's also the plumbing. People don't want to be plumbers because, the negative, stereotype about it. So they're having a hard time recruiting. A lot of young folks don't want to go into being a plumber, even though it's well paid, but doesn't have a glamorous reputation. So they are saying that the U.S. needs more carpenters, electricians, and other technical trade people, and employment at trade schools has fallen as more young people are opting for a 4-year college degree. So I thought there was some good data to put out there. That's something we talk about all the time on the Breakfast Club. Yeah,
salute to all the trade schools. Shout to Lincoln Tech. But like you said, we always need plumbers, carpenters, electricians, and HVAC people. Those people are so needed each and every day.
Mm-hmm. And we need it back in the schools. So continue to push for that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tez.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And make sure you follow at Tesla and Figaro on all social media platforms, and subscribe to the Straight Shot No Chaser podcast on the Black Effect iHeartRadio podcast network, hosted by Tesla and Figaro.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.